Some of the most masculine men you'll ever meet won't be the ones puffing their chests, barking the loudest, or flexing aggression like it's a badge of honor. No, the real warriors walk in silence. They speak soft, they move calculated, and they warn you. Once, twice, 50 times if they have to, because they don't need to prove anything. They'll avoid conflict, back off, de-escalate when possible. Not out of fear, but because they've already mapped out exactly how it ends. They know how to break your neck in 3 moves, how to rip your friend's shoulder out of its socket in 1, and how quickly things spiral from bad to worse. They know because they've already been there. They've seen it, done it, lived with the consequences. These men carry a quiet dominance, an aura of controlled destruction. They don't need to flex power because they are power. And the biggest mistake anyone can make is mistaking their calm for weakness. Because the moment they decide to act, it's already over. A man who has tasted real violence doesn't crave it. He understands the weight of it, the cost. He's seen what happens when fists fly, when bones snap, when lives are ruined over ego. That's why true warriors are the last to strike. They know that once they commit, there's no undoing it. The consequences are permanent. They've seen the blood on the pavement. They've watched the life drain out of another man's eyes. And they live with that. Every single day. The loudest men in the room are always the weakest. The ones who constantly feel the need to announce their strength, their aggression, their dominance. Those are the ones who crumble when it's time to act. They rely on intimidation because they lack true capability. They thrive on external validation because internally, they're hollow. Real men, men forged in fire, men who have walked through violence and come out the other side, don't posture. They don't brag about their toughness because they don't need to. They embody it. True masculinity is controlled, disciplined, and lethal when necessary. It is a force that doesn't need permission to exist. The world has forgotten what real men look like because society has spent decades trying to suppress them. Weakness is praised. Submission is rewarded. The modern man has been conditioned to believe that being soft is the only way to survive. And in doing so, they have forgotten that true power comes from restraint, not indulgence. A real man doesn't lash out emotionally. He calculates. He observes. He understands the battlefield before he steps onto it. That's why the most dangerous men you'll ever meet are the ones who move with precision. They don't let anger control them. They control their anger. They don't let fear dictate their actions. They dictate the terms of engagement. They don't start fights, but they sure as hell finish them. Weak men mistake aggression for strength. They think throwing punches in a bar fight makes them dominant. But dominance isn't about fighting. It's about winning. A real man doesn't fight unless he has no choice. Because he knows the cost. He knows that when true violence is unleashed, there are no winners, only survivors. That's why the strongest men, the ones forged in battle, are the ones who avoid conflict the most. They aren't afraid of a fight. They fear what they will do once they enter it. This is what separates warriors from pretenders. Anyone can throw a punch. Anyone can scream and beat their chest like an animal. But only a select few can stand in the middle of chaos and remain calm. Only a select few can look a man dead in the eyes, know exactly how to destroy him, and choose not to, because they have nothing to prove. The weak are controlled by their emotions. The strong are controlled by their principles. A man who lacks control is a man who is destined to fall. The world today is filled with men who are weak in every way that matters. They seek instant gratification. They chase pleasure. They avoid hardship. They run from responsibility. And then they wonder why they're miserable, why no one respects them, why their lives feel hollow. It's because they refuse to face the fire. They refuse to forge themselves into something greater. Real strength isn't found in comfort. It isn't found in easy choices. It's built in the fire of adversity. in the moments when you want to quit but don't. It's in the pain, in the struggle, in the battle against your own weakness. If you don't fight that battle every single day, you are losing. And weak men lose everything: respect, women, purpose, life. Look around today. The world is filled with weak men pretending to be strong. Loudmouths who haven't been tested. Cowards who talk big but fold under real pressure. They make threats, they posture, they seek validation. But the moment they come face to face with a real man, a man who has tasted war, who has felt bones break under his grip, who has buried his rage under years of discipline, they crumble. Because deep down, they know the truth. They know they aren't ready for what's coming. Masculinity isn't about brutality. It isn't about domination for the sake of it. It's about control. The most powerful men are the ones who have mastered themselves, the ones who can destroy, but choose peace, the ones who don't need to yell to be heard, the ones who walk into a room, say nothing, and still demand respect. Weakness will get you killed, not necessarily in a physical sense, but in every way that matters. A weak man gets walked over, disrespected, discarded. A weak man doesn't get the respect of his peers, the loyalty of his woman, or the admiration of his children. A weak man is invisible. That's why true masculinity is about presence. It's about being undeniable. It's about stepping into a room and having men recognize your authority without you having to say a word. The world needs more strong men, more warriors who don't need to bark to be heard, more men who carry themselves with quiet confidence, more men who know their worth and don't need to prove it. If you're listening to this and you feel a fire burning in your chest, if you feel the weight of these words pressing on you, then you already know the truth. It's time to become that man. The world doesn't need another loud, empty shell of a man. The world needs you at your strongest. If you don't become that, then what are you? Another statistic? Another faceless drone marching toward mediocrity? Another man who could have been great but settled for average? That's not your path. That's not your destiny. You were built for more. You were built to be undeniable. So stop making excuses, stop talking, and start becoming. Because in the end, the world won't remember what you said. It will only remember what you did.